talk about a lot of political things, but underneath all of that is the Bible. I am unapologetically 100% in favor of it is the Bible. Jesus is the Word. There is no delineation. If the Bible says it, that's what Jesus is, and that's what Jesus believes. That's what this podcast is actually about, is to actually alert people to what is coming and what is our responsibility in the midst of it.
So, according to the reporting, there have been 170 American citizens who have been detained for some period of time during this period in which they have deported about 660,000 illegal aliens. That's about a 99.9997% success rate. If any other government agency got stuff that right that often, we'd be throwing them a ticker tape parade.
Look at
this. We'll have our home again. What does that evoke in you when you see this? It literally, when I see it as a Muslimah, as a Palestinian, as a child of immigrants, I see that this is something that is evoking, like, I'm not welcome here. It is very clear what is intentionally happening.
Mortgage rates have now fallen to their lowest level in more than 3 years, and industry experts hope that it will help break the stalemate that has kept reluctant sellers from selling and would-be buyers from buying. CNN's Vanessa Yurkevich is with us now on this. All right, Vanessa, how low are we talking?
Yeah, we're talking about the lowest level in more than 3 years. So the average rate for a mortgage, according to Freddie Mac this week, 6.06%. That is down significantly from a year ago when mortgage rates were above 7%. And if you look at this line chart on your screen right now, you can see, hopefully, that we're exactly where we were 3 years ago. The left-hand side of your screen in January of 2023 and the right-hand side of your screen in January of 2026.
Let's just say you're buying a $500,000 home. You're putting 20% down. A year ago, your monthly payments were almost $2,700 for principal and interest. Now they're around $2,400. Now, that might not sound like that much. It's about $260 difference. But over the course of a year, you're talking about $3,000 less in interest. Over the course of a loan, it's over $90,000. So that's huge, right? That's less money going to the bank, more for everything else in life. Now, all of this comes after the White House has really started to focus more on this issue of housing affordability, right? The president wants to ban large institutional investors from scooping up single-family homes. And significantly, he announced plans to have Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac buy $200 billion of mortgage bonds. And experts are saying that those efforts from the president, they're already helping to drive down mortgage rates, which, of course, is encouraging.
Yeah. And finally, we're populating on claims under 200 on initial claims for the week of January 10th. That's 198,000. 198,000. Now, we have had some sub-200s, some of them revised away, but one still stands. That was the last week in November when it was 192,000. And these numbers are getting very close to going back into kind of the Beatles era in terms of how low they are.
Prime Minister Carney is in China. How do you see the deals, Canada and China? I've just signed trade deals between the two partners.
Well, that's okay. That's what he should be doing. I mean, it's a good thing for him to sign a trade deal. If you can get a deal with China, you should do that.
Senator, I want to point out that in 2021, at the beginning of his administration, President Biden submitted his budget on May. You know what? You made an accusation of me, and I'm going to answer it.
Okay, I appreciate
On May
that.
28th, he submitted his budget. So our budget. We're a new administration.
Okay, you can.
And I also want to point out.
I have just 2 minutes left. I asked you a specific.
I want to
question.
point out something, Senator. You presided here, I think, for 32 years. You presided over the destruction of the health of the American people.
Well,
Our people are now the sickest people in the world.
Seriously.
Because you have not done your job.
Seriously. That is an
What have you done about it? What have you done about the epidemic of chronic disease?
Mr. Secretary,
what have you done about the epidemic of chronic disease?
Who was a convicted insurrectionist and yet was pardoned, she rejected her pardon.
Mr. Romano, did you prosecute anyone related to January 6th for engaging in an insurrection? No, Congresswoman.
I didn't think so. So Mr. Raskin's statement that someone was a convicted insurrectionist is actually inaccurate. Isn't that correct?
I wouldn't say it's inaccurate. A convicted insurrectionist.
She wasn't a convicted insurrectionist, was she?
Would the gentlelady yield?
No, I will not. Mr. Romano.
Do you accept seditious conspiracy as insurrection?
I will reclaim my time. Mr. Romano, did you prosecute anyone for engaging in an insurrection related to January 6th?
For the crime of insurrection?
You did not, did you?
Create the environment and then you complain about the consequences. When you kick over a beehive, don't complain when the bees come after you.
Don't say that every single one of those
people
people
poke a bear,
is not,
don't say, I can't believe the bear's chasing me.
You have a right to stand there and yell at
That's not what we were talking about. We're talking about you guys are deliberately creating an environment so that there is chaos. And when there is chaos, you go, oh my God, someone gets hurt. What do you expect in chaos?
You don't think that they're trying to create chaos?
Yes.
What they're the ICE officers.
These organizations desire chaos.
Going in and
how naive are you?
And it wouldn't be you wouldn't have this chaos.
I do know there was a woman who came out and assaulted one of our troopers. Let me just tell you guys, this is not Minneapolis. That is not going to end well for you in Florida. You have a right to go out there and criticize government policy. You can go out there and protest within, obviously respected zones. But the idea that you're going to assault one of our troopers is unacceptable, and you are going to face consequences as a result of that.
All right, Friday night, and we are live. Hope everybody's doing good. As always, be blessed in the mighty name of Jesus. Let me say it, everybody in the chat. Robin Aroni is on. Trev McGroin is on. Aggravain is on. Granted 2468 is on. Judy Anita is on. Prayer Works 2 is on. JGCK is on. JD Joy is on. Big Jim Go Blue is on. Serena is on. ED2 is on. Let me see here. Peg McGroin is on. Captain Cliff is on. Laura Jean Lynn is on. Scrolling down here, Skunk 71 is on. Granite 2468. I said that, but anyway, welcome again. Bud 64 is on. 1961 Kid is on. Mike Griffith is on. Sue Fawn is on. Aggravain is on. Gelco 1952 is on. Let me see here. Scrolling down. Guitar Glenn is on. Let me see here. K4 VMS is on. Volvo 960 is on. Big Scott 1 is on. Deb Powell is on. Big Scott 1 is on. Scrolling down. Veronica 18201 is on. Sheila K is on. LA 106 Times is on. Jim Brody is on. Let me see. Gloyd Shaw is on. TJT1 is on. Milwaukee James is on. Let me see here. Patrina C is on. N. Johns 127 is on. Order in the Court is on. Conservative Warrior is on. Scrolling down. Uncle Wally is on. Rum Pierre is on. Thunderbolt is on. Let me see here. Charlie 340 is on. Scrolling down. The Great T1 AU is on. Scrolling down here. Grab as many as I can. Barn Evil is on. Daynow 59 is on. Let me grab a couple more that I haven't seen yet. I think I got Conservative Warrior. I never know if it's Conservative Warrior or Conservative Waffle, whichever one. Conservative Warrior is on. Luann 5 is on. The one and only Release the Hog is on. PD Frank is on. Let me see here. Let me grab a couple more. Confederate 1 is on. There's one. PD Frank 1974 is on. We'll grab one more I haven't seen yet. NCSCWE is on. Love you guys. Appreciate each and every one of you. You saw the news. There's too much to go over, but all the great news coming out of the Trump economy, unreal. And again, just to reiterate, he has cut $600 billion off of our deficit, not our debt, but our deficit. That's our deficit spending for this year's big, beautiful bill, which is also great news. Interest rates on houses is plummeting. The unemployment rate is fantastic, especially for native-born Americans. Trump is doing a great job overall. I hope we don't bomb Iran. If we do, I'll still love him, but I still don't think we should be bombing Iran. But overall, unbelievable job. Everybody knows the economy is good no matter what the Goebbels media is saying. And I just have to comment on one other video from the pregame, and that was RFK Jr. versus Senator Patty Murray, who has been sitting on that same exact, I don't know what board it is. It's a board that oversees health in America. I don't know if it oversees the CDC and all those other agencies. I assume that it does. But anyway, he just said it. I love what he does. And that was back in May of last year, almost a year ago, but it still was worth playing again. But anyway, he just says to her, you have overseen over the last 30 years the decline of health in America, of actual physical health in America. And she's all offended by that. Is that in fact true? It's true. Why are you offended? See, the thing is with me is if I was sitting on a board like that, and maybe you'd say, well, I had no control over it, whatever it may be. It's like if you're an NFL coach and like if you were, 2-15, and you were fired because you were 2-15. You're like, I don't agree that I was 2-15. It's right there. I mean, and I know that what I'm saying doesn't really make any sense because we're dealing with a nonsensical liberal white woman. You have, in fact, when she took over, the average lifespan in America was 79. It's now 76 in America. You have people by the hundreds of thousands per year flocking to America to get health care from our healthcare system, but Americans themselves are declining in their health as she has overseen it. Why would you deny it? Maybe you can. She's all offended. How dare you say that? Because it is, in fact, true. If you were to go up and say to somebody, both your kids are transgenders, you're a lousy parent. That is, in fact, true. And yet, how dare you say that? Both of your kids are drug addicts. You are a lousy parent. How dare you say that? You have wrecked every car you've ever owned. You're a horrible driver. How dare you say that? That's how people are. I'm like, you know what? If you were to come up to me and say, you know what, Tom, we noticed that your weight fluctuates a lot. I wouldn't go, how dare you say that? I would go, you know what, you're right. I do. I've lost the same 40 pounds 40 times. That's barely an exaggeration, by the way. If that is even an exaggeration, I've lost the same amount of weight over and over and over again. Maybe this will be the time. I said that last time. Maybe this will be the time. You know what I did? Put on 30 pounds. But I mean, and if Brent came up to me, because Brent's always thin, he said, hey, Tom, you notice you put on 30 pounds. How dare you? That's not true, Brent. It's okay. You were 220. Now you're 250. Why would I be offended by the 250? That's how Patty Murray is. That's how every Democrat is. How dare you say that we are instigating violence on ICE? Because since you have begun the Gestapo rhetoric, ICE attacks on ICE have gone up, just a little bit, 1,800%. Ramming of vehicles, the same thing. Over 1,000% increase in violence on ICE since your rhetoric began. How dare you say that we're instigating violence? It's just like what we showed last night on the podcast. Jacob Fry says, show me one video of me instigating violence against ICE. He called it... He said for ICE to get the F out of his town. We played that video. He called it ICE an invasion in Minnesota. We could play Tampon Tim over and over again, calling them the Gestapo. How dare you say we're instigating violence? Because you are. When you're saying that, when you are, whether it's Fry or whether it's Waltz, and you are saying that ICE agents are kidnapping our neighbors in vans. Okay, and I got it wrong last night. I said 70. It was 170. So the entire year of the Trump administration, they have not arrested, not deported, detained 170 Americans during all these ICE roundups, and have deported 600,000 illegals, and then self deportations is 1.2 to 1.4 million self deported. So in all of that, so you're looking at, let's just say 1.8 million deportations, whether self or initiated by the government. And in the midst of 1.8 million deportations, 170 Americans were detained. And detained, again, in my opinion, could very well also include ICE protesters that are in the way that have to be detained while they're having to make arrests on illegal pedophiles and rapists and murderers. Those are the ones. I mean, you should see the statistics coming out of Minnesota. Well, that's where we'll start right now. Rapid Response 47 at Tricia, Ohio. In the last 5 weeks, we have arrested 2,500 criminal illegal aliens off the streets of Minnesota. Play for me, Brent.
Pamela, in the last 5 weeks, we have arrested 2,500 criminal illegal aliens off of the streets of Minneapolis. If I can make my point, I appreciate your having me, but I do want to be able to make my point. Sure. The point of the matter is, I have not seen CNN cover who some of those individuals are. An individual from Ecuador, he murdered his 3-month-old son. An individual who's perpetuating human slavery and human trafficking, scores and scores of murders, child pedophiles. Why does the media not talk about that? We continue to see that people love to demonize law enforcement, vilify them as they're facing 1,000% increase in assaults against them. And yet we're not talking about the great work that they're doing on the ground, the fact that they are risking their lives day in and day out to get these criminals off the ground. Gang members, known as suspected terrorists, these are all the people that we've arrested in Minneapolis. And DHS and Secretary Noem, President Trump, have done a phenomenal job of trying to give people transparency on who we are arresting. And yet we're standing here talking about relitigating cases over and over and over.
And right before that, it was either before that or after that, in the same interview, Wolf Blitzer, he says he actually spins the narrative that Renee Good had just dropped. I mean, you can find. I should have included it. I knew I should have, because if I'm talking about it, I should have included it. So Wolf Blitzer, right before this, or right after this, he says that he actually propagates the narrative that Renee Good dropped her kid off and happened to be driving by on her way home after dropping her kid off. That's how she got caught up in the ICE scenario, in that situation. That's how she got caught up in the ICE crime scene, so to speak. And by the way, it wasn't an official crime scene. Well, it wasn't an official crime scene. That would be hyperbolic. But it is a police scene. They are making an arrest of a pedophile. Right there. That's who Renee Good and her lesbian, likes to put out cigarettes on kids, partner, that's what they're interfering with. But anyway, that's who and if you're a Democrat and you're watching this, that's what you're in favor of. You are in favor of preventing ICE officers from deporting child rapists and sodomizers. That's who you are. Just look in the mirror. Don't get all offended like Patty Murray. How dare you say that? Because the videos show that's what you're for. So that is, in fact, what you're for. Don't be deceived. God is not mocked. Whatever man sows, that shall he also reap. That's who you are. You are that is your harvest. But anyway, so that Wolf Blitzer actually espouses that narrative that Renee Good had dropped off her child, was simply on her way home. And stumbled upon this ICE situation and got caught up in it. Okay. Now, first of all, and remember this clip was a day ago. That had already been debunked 1,000 times over. She had been tracking ICE. She had dropped off her kid 6 hours prior to that and had been tracking ICE using an app from an organization that she's a part of to track ICE for 4 hours. And she had been seen in numerous ICE locations before. Imagine being Wolf Blitzer. Aaron, help me.
I can't.
You got to help me. Brent, help me. Brent, help Aaron, help me. But I need to understand, how are you somebody that you go home and respect yourself? If you're Wolf Blitzer, how can you stand yourself that you espouse? We can't say millions are watching, because it's really tens of thousands are watching CNN, especially since they've been taken off of a lot of the airport monitors now. But anyway, how do you live with yourself? You're just a liar. You're a disgusting Pravda, Mockingbird, Goebbels media liar. They hand you a sheet. Have you ever noticed that's what all the Democrats are doing now? They're all reading off of sheets. They're handed sheets and they just read them. Whether it's Maxine Waters or anybody else, they're simply always looking down at a sheet. Remember, that's how Karine Jean-Pierre was, always just looking down at a sheet. I'd love to know who the authors of these sheets are, but he just espouses that. We can't call Renee Good's wife anymore because they aren't wife and wife because they aren't married. They just simply changed their names to the same name. But anyway, her wife, her lesbian partner, was out there filming and instigating ICE. How are they on their way back and forth to drop off a child? I mean, Wolf, you see the video. And by the way, the narrative of it all, and I know we've talked about this ad nauseum and everybody has, but I can't help it from a police angle. You know, you got Brent and I in the room. We have given thousands of police orders. Get on the ground, move over here, move over there, put your hands behind your back, shut up, whatever it is. We've done it, right? She was never told to leave. That's what they keep espousing to do. She simply was told to leave, and she tried to leave. She hit him when she was following the orders. And this is what all these leftist pundits, whether it's Wolf Blitzer or anybody else, I'm not saying that he personally has espoused this, said that she was told to leave, and so she tried to leave and then hit him, causing him to internally bleed, by the way. She wasn't told to leave. Has anybody watched the video? What is she told to do? She's not told to leave. She wasn't free to leave. She was under arrest. She was told numerous times to get the F out of the car. Does that sound leave? Does that sound like leave, Aaron?
No.
Okay, that sounds like get the F out of the car.
Right.
Is that hard to translate? But yet a Democrat will hear that and then just lie and say she was told to leave. Or be Wolf Blitzer. This is just a mom who dropped off her. This is a shaved head lesbian mom who's had 2 out of her 3 kids taken from her because her lesbian partner was putting out cigarettes on their arms. And she chose that. She chose the person who extinguishes fire on her kids' arms over her children. That's this wonderful hero of the left. Shaved her head, Renee Good, and her shaved head lesbian partner. And Wolf Blitzer is painting a picture as if she's just dropping off her kids and happened to stumble upon this scene. No, she tracked ICE there, showed up, and then obstructed them. Aaron, you can help me here.
Yeah.
If you stumble upon a scene, wouldn't you just either turn around and get away from the scene or drive through as law enforcement's doing this? Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Wasn't she told to drive on? If you're stumbled upon the scene and you have, I have to give ICE some credit. There's some bad looking dudes. And these bad looking dudes are telling you move along. Why would you, if you just stumbled, imagine being Wolf Blitzer. How do you live with yourself and espouse these lies on national television? She just stumbled upon the scene. How are you stumbling upon the scene when you have now blocked the road with your car? Is that stumbling upon the scene? When you are verbally antagonizing ICE agents, that's stumbling upon the scene. Listen, I've stumbled upon some scenes before as a citizen, just normal average citizen. Do you know what I do? I'll give you an example. This is a great example. Right around Hurricane Ian time, right after it had already blown up this area. It was probably, a month later, something like that. It's calmed down. I'm walking through my neighborhood. Okay, now I walk with one of those hiking sticks that I never use, but I like to carry it with me anyway. So I walk with a hiking stick, and I have my dog's leash around my body, all right, like a sling. I'm giving you a little preview. So unbeknownst to me, as I leave my house, a police call has gone out. Not about me. Our neighbor, because he has a mega multi-million dollar tree company, and they were having to basically bivouac in our neighborhood because they were just getting up in the morning and then go cutting down trees for 18 hours a day. If we get them off everybody's roofs and everything. He had bivouacked some of his workers in his yard. He has a huge yard, multi-acre house on the river. And I didn't know, but 2 of those guys had gotten into a verbal altercation. One of them had either brandished or threatened to brandish an AR-15. Unbeknownst to me, I stumbled into this because I come around the corner and all of a sudden there's a spotlight on my face from 100 yards away. And I'm like, what the crap is that? And I have a high-powered flashlight myself because my crazy dog kills everything he sees. So I have to flashlight and try to illuminate the neighborhood as I'm walking through it so that he doesn't kill everything, because he kills everything. You're like, Tom, you're exaggerating. Aaron, am I exaggerating?
Absolutely not.
No, he kills everything.
Yeah,
That's how
if it moves.
If it moves, dead. If he can catch it, and he's a Malamar, so you got to be able to throttle up to over 40 to get away from him.
Yeah.
Or climb up a tree, and you got to get up 10 feet high because he can go up 10 feet into a tree. So anyway, So I'm like, and by the way, I was stupid then, so I didn't leash my dog at night. I just was flashlighting and hoping, and that was after he killed 10 more raccoons, I finally wised up. But anyway, so I get a spotlight in my face. I'm like, what the crap is going on? Remember, I don't know what's happening. This has been dispatched out of another house. So I flash my light back at the spotlight. And I get a command over a PA system from a patrol car, get your flashlight out of our face. Now, what did I do? Can you guess? Can you guess what I did? I got my flashlight out of their face. Because then now, as I'm walking closer, I can now see 3 or 4 deputies with their AR-15s on. They've been dispatched to a call with an AR-15. Do you know what you use when you're dispatched to a call with an AR-15? You get out your AR-15. And they've got them all. Now, remember what I look like. I'm carrying a long stick with a shoulder strap. So awesome. I look like the suspect with a Malinois off a leash. So now they're on high alert. They start giving me orders. Do you know what I did with every single one of those freaking orders, even though they didn't even apply to me? They did apply to Renee Good because she was purposely obstructing. That would be like if I started just running interference for the dispatch call. I was running interference to prevent them from getting to the dispatch call. I didn't know there was a dispatch call. And if I did know, I certainly wouldn't get in their way. But at that time, now I'm the suspect. So they start telling me, lift up your shirt. Aaron, what did I do?
Lift up your shirt.
I lifted up my shirt.
Yeah.
Told me to drop my stick. Told me to spin around and walk towards them. And all I was telling them is don't hurt the dog. And be careful with what you do with me because if you tackle me to the ground, he's going to go off. So now once I got close, I'm like, this is, they could see it was a walking stick and everything else. I followed every order, even though Brent, I was detained.
Yep.
Do you think I was free to leave?
No. Absolutely
I was not free to leave.
No.
If I took off running, they were chasing. What quite the scene that would be, because as they would be chasing me, my dog would be chasing them. So anyway, that's what you do. You don't stumble upon a scene and then blow off every lawful order that you were given. Like, simply, could you drive your car down the street? That's what it all started. Ma'am, could you move your car? Ma'am, could you move your car? And she's going off, and they got a lesbian partner there, threatening them and instigating them to violence and everything else. Drive off. No, I'm not going to drive off. No, I'm not going to drive off. No, I'm not going to drive off. Well, the last thing she said is, I'm not mad at you. That doesn't matter. She was told to drive off, didn't do it. Numerous times, then told to get the F out of the car. Numerous times, you're under arrest. Didn't do it. And then drove off and hit the cop and got shot in the face 3 times. That's the way it is. It's exactly what she deserved. That's what she got. But if you listen to the statistic there, where's all the reporting on the 2,500 criminal illegal aliens that Tim Walz and Jacob Frey allow out of the streets because they don't, and it's not observed. They don't obey ICE detainers. So they let out child sodomizers on the street. They wouldn't even allow, if you did, and I don't want to say that's disgusting. If you and I committed any of those crimes, we'd be detained by Jacob Frey and Tim Walz. But if an illegal commits a heinous crime, they're let off. I'm talking about murderers, rapists, child rapists are let go. And that's who they're actually collecting on the street with no media reporting on it whatsoever. Let's go to the next one. Nick Sortor video breaking. I am pleased to confirm the ATF and DOJ executed an arrest warrant for the man I caught on video stealing an FBI rifle out of a car during the Minneapolis riots last night. This is, Aaron, can you side by side it? This is who you want living next door. This is Raul Gutierrez, 33, a member of the Latin Kings gang. And if you are a Democrat, he works with you. I mean, if you're one of these like liberal white women, and maybe you're a nurse, maybe, you're a teacher or whatever. This is who you want to partner with? Because this is who you are partnered with because this is the suspect who stole a FBI rifle out of the back of an ICE vehicle. Remember, they all broke into the ICE vehicle, stole all the papers, stole the gun locker, broke open the gun locker, and dispersed the weapons in the crowd. Congratulations, Democrats. What a wonderful group of human beings you are. The law and order party, right? All right, well, here's the video. Nick Sortor video. Raul Gutierrez. Play it for me.
I know you just talked to a high-placed source at DOJ. Tell us more.
Yeah, so he wasn't arrested last night. He could have been, but the Minneapolis police didn't bother chasing the vehicle that had just stolen a high-powered rifle out of an FBI car. So that stole it out of one of these weapons lockers that was in the back. But what I can confirm now is that Raul Gutierrez, age 33, that you see in the video that I posted last night, stealing a firearm from an FBI vehicle, has been arrested by the ATF and the DOJ. They executed an arrest warrant today, and he's a known member of the Latin Kings gang. I just got all this information just before I came on air. He's got a lengthy, violent rap sheet. Of course, he should have been in prison already, but in Tim Walz, Minnesota, like they don't arrest anybody here. So it's not surprising that he was able to go out and beat this gun safe to a pulp and pull this automatic firearm out of it and run away with it. And, you know, hell, if it wasn't for, honestly, a lot of us independent journalists on the ground that were able to get a video of this, nobody would have seen it happen.
Wouldn't know about it.
They were able to find this guy based on a video from independent journalists, the one that we posted last night. I mean, it's crazy that it has to be us doing this.
So, Nick, did you talk to DOJ to get his name?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's I've been in contact with Attorney General Pam Bondi throughout the day today. We've talked to him several times.
We'll take that as a
lot more material that I haven't posted. Yeah, and so they've been there's a lot of FBI stuff going on the ground right now that I can't talk about, but there's more coming.
And again, you just take a look at this video. They're gonna pop it up side by side when they can in a second. But if you just look at this video, this is what it means to be a Democrat. I mean, how do you defend this if you're Jacob Fry? And by the way, it's not even, you're like, well, I haven't heard them defend it. I haven't heard them denounce it. Have you? Have you heard anybody denounce this activity at all, where they're actually breaking into a federal law enforcement vehicle, whether it's FBI or ICE, a federal law enforcement vehicle, attaching a tow rope to it, pulling out the weapons locker and dispensing the weapons throughout the crowd? This is who you are, Democrats. You remember when you used to be a party of labor and free to be a bird and bee and smoke all the marijuana you want? Now this is who you are. This is who you are. You really want this to go on in the streets. So let me ask you this, leftists, and please forward this, like this on Rumble, like this on Twitter, follow us, everything else, and then send this to your Democrat friends. Cut a clip of this and send it to your Democrat friends. Because this is now what it is to be a Democrat in 2026. So let me ask you this. So when we are in power, or maybe when you're in power, if we do this to your law enforcement officers, how are you going to react? Because now you have stamped your stamp of approval on this. You said that as long as you believe that it's a righteous cause, you can attack law enforcement. And by the way, why are you attacking them? Show me the videos of ICE breaking the law. Show me the videos that justify this activity. Nothing would justify this activity. Look at this, what it means to be a Democrat. Look at you. Look at you, Democrat. This is what it means to be a Democrat in 2026. You're like, Tom, you're a pastor of a church. You should be like unbiased. I'm not unbiased. I am biased. I am biased. This is lawlessness. I mean, how is this better than J6? Because you Democrats consider that to be the epicenter of all that is wrong in the world. This is 1,000 times worse than J6. When did a J6 defendant ever break into a federal gun locker and dispense weapons out into the crowd? Come on, Raul Gutierrez, member of the Latin Kings, walks away with a machine gun because of Democrats, because of Jacob Fry instigating this, because of Tim Walz instigating this. All right, let's go to the next one. Nick Sorter video. Yeah, this is a video for Aaron, because if Aaron was an ICE agent, this is what he would do. People would think that I would do. I wouldn't do it. I'm more quiet. Aaron's not. Aaron will drive around. I think you did some of that during COVID and stuff. Didn't you go around and instigate people?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Aaron drove around
with a megahorn.
With a megahorn, instigating people.
Yeah.
During COVID, can you name one of the things you said or did? Do you remember back? That's been 6 years.
Oh,
ago.
I don't even know.
You remember, but anyway, he drove around.
I was calling people retards.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, yeah. Even I don't do that, but I mean, Aaron will. Okay. So this is what if Aaron was an ICE agent, this is what he would do. But anyway, another Nick Sortor video. It's laugh my butt off. I'll clean it up. ICE agents in Minnesota are now trolling. I love it. That's what you do. This is what you do. You don't hide. There's another video of ICE agents because they've got people following them. And so the ICE agents just went around a roundabout for 2 straight minutes in a circle. playing the ice cream truck music. Isn't that great? That's what you do. You do. I've told you this before. It's like Trump when he was talking about Carney and his deals with China. He goes, I think he's making a good deal. He should do exactly what he's doing. It's exactly the opposite. It's because he does it. It's trolling Carney. He knows that Carney's throwing away his country. He's throwing away all semblance of respect for himself, self-respect, and for his country. But he's just like, yeah, let him do it. This is what you do. You troll them back. You're not instigating violence. You just troll them back. And then when you see the sticker on the car, it's hard to see in the video, but the sticker on the car, on the ICE vehicle, says, I love ICE. They put a bumper sticker on their own vehicle saying, I love ICE. And what they're saying here, they're trolling them, and they actually start off by saying, oh, it took you guys a while to find us. Play it for me.
It took you guys a while to find us, huh? Please don't get in front of the vehicle, though. Thank you.
This is what you do. Aaron, matter of fact, don't even mute it. I'm just going to shout over. Just play it. This is what you do. Now, let's look at this now. Let's look at this together. What a waste of life. I mean, here we are in the middle of the day. This is Thursday afternoon or Thursday morning. What a waste of life. And who is it that shows up? Here they are. You're blowing whistles. Look at the honk if you love ICE. I mean, that's what you do, folks. That's what you do. They don't like that you deported 600,000, deport 1.2 million. Here come all the liberal white women. And most of everybody that's filming them is masked. Liberal white woman. Watch who walks up there. They're liberal white woman. Get the F out of here. What a waste of life. Brent was like, you know what? Why would you think that there's another liberal white woman with a short sleeve shirt on with a snow flurry? Because she's just devoid of all human feeling. Because she's a LWW, liberal white woman. But anyway, there they are, and I love it. Now they're playing this. This must have been the same car that was playing the ice cream truck music. But anyway, this is what you do. And notice how the whistles are stopping? Because they don't know what to do with themselves. What are you going to do? Just going to keep standing around blowing a whistle? I mean, think about it. Wouldn't you, if it was you and me, and we're standing out there in this inclement weather, it can't be but more than 20 degrees outside, snowing, so it's bare minimum under 32 degrees. So you're sitting there. Wouldn't it, look at all the liberal white women, there they are. Wouldn't you start to think, man, there's got to be more to life than this. I'm sitting out here in a parking lot. I'm 38 years old. I'm fat. I have no husband. I have no kids, and I'm blowing a frickin' whistle. Wouldn't you be thinking, you know what, man, maybe there's something more to life than me standing out here yelling at people who are deporting pedophiles? And that's what these liberal white women, all they're doing is protecting pedophiles from ICE. That's all they're doing. All right, let's go to the next one. Eric Doherty video. I wanted to show you the rhetoric now. And all of you have seen this, but this is a newer video for me. I'm going to show you the old Jacob Fry video, and then I'm going to show you the video that I found today of the police chief of Minneapolis, Brian O'Hara, the ultimate bearded cuck boy, and what he has to say. Because we need to understand, of course, why it is that ICE is being attacked. Eric Doherty video. And then we'll go right to the next one, guys. You can skip me and go right to the next one. And that's a Vince Langman video. So major FAFO Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry talking about the police fighting ICE in the streets. And then we're going to look at how the police chief talks about ICE. Play it for me.
And we're in a position right now where we have residents that are asking the very limited number of police officers that we have to fight ICE agents on the street, to stand by their neighbors.
The Minneapolis Police Department is committed to honoring the human dignity of every person in our community. The Minneapolis Police Department does not participate in immigration enforcement. We do not care and do not ask people about immigration status. People in our community need to know that they can feel confident that when they need help, they can call 911, and we will show up for everyone, and not be afraid to call because they think we might turn them over for some civil immigration violation. That's not our job. Our mission is to keep everyone in this town safe, and we cannot accomplish that if a huge segment of this community is too scared to call us when they need help, because that makes everyone less.
Some people might think, you can't call that guy a cuckboy, Tom. He's all jacked and, he's a cuckboy. I mean, he really is. I mean, it's just like all those super buff guys that are as gay can be. Yeah. All right. I mean, I'm not saying he's gay. I'm just saying, maybe he is. I don't know. Everybody else seems to be. I mean, obviously Jacob Fry is gay. But I mean, you just look at this guy. Let's go back to front with what he said. He said that we are not going to intertwine ourselves. We are not going to interject ourselves in a civil immigration violation. Civil immigration violation. Is it civil? A civil crime, if you want to call them a crime, that's not even a crime. Civil infraction is a speeding ticket. That is a civil infraction. You didn't technically commit a criminal offense. And everybody understands the difference. You have civil infractions like littering, and then you have where littering becomes illegal dumping, it becomes a crime. There is no illegal civil infraction for illegal immigration. It's all a crime. It is actually a federal crime. And it's not that they're arresting. I'm not saying that they should go around arresting people for being illegal. I think they should. But in my whole law enforcement career, we never were involved in that either. But when they get a detainer because the guy anally raped the child, I don't know. Call me crazy, Aaron. Call me crazy, Brent. Maybe you should then observe. You should obey the ICE detainer.
You'd think.
When the guy raped, Jacob Fry lets him out, and then he always talk. Jacob Fry will say, "No, if you committed a crime, we want you prosecuted." The guy raped a child. He has an ICE detainer, and you didn't obey it, and you just released the guy anyway. That's what's actually happening. That cuck boy police chief, we don't participate in this, and we make sure that we recognize everybody's human dignity. Who ever said anything about dignity? Are you obeying ICE detainers? Let's just start there before we even get involved. If you find out on a police scene that this person is illegal or not, whatever. Do you obey the ICE detainers that once they are already in your jail for rape, robbery, murder, child rape, do you obey the detainers? No, you release them. So there's nothing everything that cuck boy, you can lift all the weights you want. You can lift every weight he wants to lift. Go ahead, lift all the weights you want, moron. You're still a cuck boy. Even if you're a big and bad enough dude to come and beat me up, you're still a cuck boy. You can beat me up all you want. It does not remove your cuckness because little Jacob Fry, you're the receiver from Jacob Fry. That's who you are, Brian O'Hara. You can look the part all you want. Cop to cop, you're a cuck. You're a cuck boy. You're not a cop, you're a cuck. That's who you are. Because Jacob Fry is behind you grunting. That's who you are. You will do anything to maintenance your 600-member police force for Minneapolis, St. Paul, which is twice the size of the police force that I worked for. And remember, Aaron, the population of Minneapolis, St. Paul, 3.8 million. Right here, Sarasota County, Florida. There's 350,000 people live here. 350,000 to 400,000 because it has grown. So I'll round it up. 400,000 people live here in Sarasota County, where I worked as a deputy sheriff for 25 years, 92 to 2017. We have 325 to 350 sworn officers for 400,000. And by the way, it was that many when we had 300,000. You have 600 for 3.8 million people. Why? Because the guy grunting behind you as you are his receiver, as a cuck, he cut your police force, and now you'll do whatever he says? Wouldn't you love to have Brian O'Hara? If you're a cop, maybe you're watching. I know there's at least one other cop that's watching. No, there's two other cops that are watching right now that I know of. If you were a cop, wouldn't you just love to have Brian O'Hara, the guy that's got your back? He's got your back all right. He'd be doing exactly to you what Jacob Fry's doing to him. These guys are absolutely disgusting. They're as disgusting as all the COVID caving cops. It's always the CCC. It always is. All the COVID caving cops running around arresting people for not wearing a mask or not standing 6 feet apart. You'll do anything to keep your. That's why that at that time many will turn away from the faith and will betray and hate each other, and many false prophets will appear and deceive many people. And the love of most will, because of this, the love of most will grow cold, but he who stands firm to the end will be saved. The love of the reason why most people take the mark of the beast is they'll do anything to keep their job. Anything to keep their job. Anything so they can keep a dental appointment. Anything so they can go see a movie. Anything so you can still be the police chief of Minneapolis, St. Paul. You're an absolute public disgrace. You could never get a job anywhere but in a liberal cuck city where you've got another, probably giant, obese female behind you telling you what to do, and you'll do it because you're Brian O'Hara, cuck boy. That's who you are. Adam, speaking of cuck boys, let's go to the next one. You're side by side. This is the Democrat sheriff of Bucks County, Pennsylvania, a county that Trump won, and he just terminated his agreement with ICE. Play it for me.
Determined that the certain public safety costs of this ICE partnership are greatly outweighed by any potential public safety benefits that this partnership may offer. That is why this morning I signed an order terminating the 287G partnership between the Bucks County Sheriff's Office and ICE.
Yeah, we don't need to see the rest of it. And they're just typical, once again. You know, if I didn't ask Aaron too, but there's a freeze frame of the guy, you'd say, you know what, I need a picture of a cuck boy. There he is. There's another one. Absolute cuck boy. He knows that he will get from all the blue-haired, pink women whose wombs have long been shut because they just mentally close their own wombs just via hatred of men. You know why they hate men? Because they've been fat their entire, I was about to say they've been fat their disgusting life, their entire life. They've been fat their entire life and no man ever shows any interest in them, so they just hate men. And he wants their approval. You know, thing is, you know what? Women struggle with me. They do, because I preach the Bible. So they don't like it. You know, when I say, wives, submit to your own husbands as to the Lord. That's the Bible saying that, Ephesians chapter 5, verse 22. But anyway, women struggle with me anyway, because I simply will not bow to them. I don't bow to any person. I bow to Jesus. I bow to the truth of the gospel of Jesus Christ, to the Bible. That's it. So they won't, but this guy here, he's such a cuck, he'll do anything to get their approval. He just, oh my gosh, oh, great job. You're no longer going to cooperate with ICE. Oh, isn't that great? So you're going to now release child sodomizers out of your jail, just like Jacob Fry does, and then claim to be a law and order mayor and a law of order Democrat elected sheriff. Let's go. Oh, Nick Shirley stuff. Guys, we're going to tie all three of these in a row. Okay. So the first one, guys, is Wall Street Apes video. Second one is an Eric Doherty video. Third one is an American Papa Bear videos. I haven't showed enough of these because they all happened when I was on vacation. I love these Nick Shirley videos. I know they're probably old to everybody. I mean, these aren't old. These are all the new ones that have come out. But I love these Nick Shirley videos, even though everybody's already seen them. These are those that I just can't get enough of. I absolutely love them. It's like the videos that you see me show on the post game and you've seen them 4 or 5, 6 times. It's because I love them. It's not because I'm like, I don't have anything else to show. Please ask Aaron how many videos I send in every day. Listen. It's like Alex Jones talks about on his show. He sends in like 60 videos to his crew and he gets to 3. I have the same situation here. So, I mean, these videos are so good. And we're wondering why it is that Ilhan Omar says peace only returns to Minnesota once ICE is gone. Jacob Fry, peace only returns to Minnesota once ICE is gone. Tim Walz, peace only returns to Minnesota once ICE is gone, because their stormtroopers are out on the streets trying to get ICE away from all of their crimes, trying to pull ICE off of the scent of all of their crimes, of the billions upon billions. I don't think it's 9 billion. I think it's 90 billion. I think it's 100 billion that Minnesota, through Tim Walz, through Jacob Fry, through Ilhan Omar, has stolen. And this is not, oh, you know what? You know, it was an accounting error. These are not accounting errors. This is pure, unabated fraud and bribery. All right, so these videos, here's the latest on Nick Shirley. Play for me.
Now we're at 2833 13th Avenue South in Minneapolis, and there's supposed to be a non-emergency medical transportation company here called Advance Mobility, Incorporated. And what's interesting about this company is that state records show that it first registered with the state of Minnesota in 1999.
And they have been in business for over 26 years.
Yes, correct.
And
so
we're going to go inside.
They must have a lot of vehicles.
So this is Advanced Mobility 2833, boarded up. All these windows are covered right here. We're going to see if we can go inside. There's a bunch of shops in here. We have money transferring shop. We got clothes in here. There's a coffee shop. Let's see if Advanced Mobility is in here. We got spices. Is Advanced Mobility here?
Do you know 224?
I don't think you guys are allowed to record here.
Do you know where Advanced Mobility is?
Suite 224.
She's recording over there, so. Suite 224. Do you guys know where Advanced Mobility is? Do you guys know where Advanced Mobility is?
Advanced Mobility?
Yeah, we're looking for it. Never heard of it?
What is this? What is that?
Oh, my name is Nick Shirley. We're just looking for Advanced Mobility.
Hey,
Where's Advanced Mobility at?
we don't care about Advanced Mobility.
That's what we're asking for. All right, we're looking for Advanced Mobility. Nobody can help us right now. We got a whole group of people trying to get us out of here. We're looking for Advanced Mobility.
We don't care about
Advanced Mobility doesn't exist.
Get the f*** out of here, man. Get out. You need to get out. You need to get out. Get out.
Now they're pushing us out of here. Where's Advanced Mobility at?
We don't care about Advanced Mobility.
That's what we're asking for.
Get out. Get out.
Would you like to give a statement on where Advanced Mobility is?
No, go ahead. Get out. We don't care.
So Advanced Mobility is not anywhere here. We're leaving, sir. Would you like to give a statement on what's happening here in Minnesota?
You make stuff up. This is a lie. I don't care. Who do you work for? Who do you work for? No, who do you work for?
Nick Shirley.
Who do you work
This
for?
is Nick Shirley, sir.
I don't care about Nick Shirley. That's you.
Yes, sir.
But who do you work for?
For Nick Shirley.
I don't care about Nick Shirley.
That's who he's working for today, Nick Shirley.
This is from the
We
state
don't
of
care. We don't care
Minnesota.
about that. Get out of here. Stop here.
And see, you guys say I can't film, but look at you guys filming. You can do that. You can film here. Advanced Mobility doesn't exist.
Well, so what was interesting was we walked in there, and on the state's website, it says it's in Suite 224, but it's a one-story building. None of the suites had the number 2 on them. It doesn't exist. And it's been registered since 1999, and it doesn't exist.
How are you? We're looking for the transportation company.
Safari Transportation?
Looking for Safari Transportation.
No, there's no Safari Transportation here.
No Safari Transportation?
Safari Transportation, 607 Cedar Avenue.
We're just looking for Safari Transportation.
We don't know.
So, but this is registered for Safari Transportation,
know.
607.
That's the address.
Okay, we don't know.
We're asking where Safari Transportation is.
We don't know.
Okay, so the business is not here.
Don't record.
Fuad Omar?
Fuad Omar?
We don't know. This, do you see this? What is this?
Money transferring.
That's it.
Okay,
Well, this
registered.
is from the state.
This is fraud taking place. This is supposed to say, this is for Safari Transportation.
Go find out.
Yeah, we did find out. This is fraud right here.
Registered here
This is
since
registered.
2015.
2015?
Safari Transportation, state of Minnesota.
2015. Oh, yeah.
Well, but it's registered now. This is current, just off the state of Minnesota website today. This is from today. I just printed this off today. Fuad Omar.
Go check it out.
We're here. This is 607. Where's Safari Transportation?
Okay, it's no Safari, period.
Okay, so it's a fraudulent business.
Did you see Safari anything here?
Exactly.
Did you see?
Exactly. It's not
you
here.
see it?
It's a fraud.
Did you see, sir?
Okay, thank you. We're going to go to the next
Okay.
address. All right, let's keep moving on. So 607, this is supposed to be Safari Transportation, no transportation company. And now we're going to 617, another transportation company. However, it is actually Cedar Riverside Liquor. Where is the transportation company?
617.
617 right
Dreamline
here.
Transportation for the state of Minnesota is registered to 617 Cedar Avenue South.
And it's a liquor store. David, they aren't even trying to hide that these are transportation companies. Where are the vans at?
Should we ask?
Let's go ask.
Hey, we're looking for Dreamline Transportation.
What's that?
Now we're in 617. This right here is Hopkins Child Care Center. They're receiving over $2 million a year. All of the windows are completely blacked out. You can't even get in. And for a place that's supposed to have over 100 children, there's no footprints anywhere going into the store. And it's locked, midday right now. This is the back side of the daycare. We're ringing the doorbell right now. See if anybody comes. Hello, sir, how are you doing? How are you doing? Yes, sir.
Get out.
Okay, listen.
Get out. This is our business.
Each other, okay?
Yes,
what are you looking for?
We don't care what you do on the parking lot.
Go this side.
Otherwise, we'll call the
This
cops.
private.
I can be here in the parking lot.
No. You don't be here.
Wait,
What are
can
you
we
looking
ask
for?
you about the daycare? It's
What
all
are you
right.
looking
It's all
for?
right. Can we ask you about the
You don't
daycare?
care about anything.
No. I don't care, Ken.
Sir, I'm not racist.
You have to leave here.
I'm asking
No. You don't ask me nothing, man.
$2.25 million.
Get out, you guys. Get out.
$2.5 million.
Get out.
This is a business.
Get out, hey. Get out. What are you looking for?
We're asking. We just want to
Get out.
We just want to ask you about $2.25 million.
Get out.
Fuck you say.
Get out.
Of here, man.
Get out, guys. Get out.
You cannot do that.
Get out. No, you cannot. You cannot do that. Get out.
This is
Fucking get out. Man. No. Get lost. Get out. No.
Sir.
You have to get out. This is our property. Get out.
Why? Can I ask you about the daycare? I have the paperwork right here.
No. Get out.
What's the need for $2.25 million for a daycare?
Get out.
Can you answer the question?
Get out. No, I don't ask you any question. Fucking.
You can't.
Guys, get out.
You can't answer the question.
Get out. No. Who are you?
My name's Nick Shirley.
No, I don't give a shit. Get out.
Could you answer the question?
No, I don't.
What's the need for $2.25 million for a daycare?
No. Fucking $1 million. Don't worry about it. Get out.
Okay.
Get out.
And it's licensed for
Get out,
118
get out,
children.
get out.
But I don't see any footprints of any children here. I don't see any footprints of any children here.
Get out. Get out. Fucking guys. Get out. No, you're not asking nothing, man.
I'm just asking you about what we're seeing here.
No. Get out. Get out our business. Get out.
Sir,
this is my property.
You have millions of people watching right now. Can you say what's the need for $2.25 million? And where are the 118 children?
Motherfucker, get out.
Sir, I'm just asking you a simple question.
Get out. No, you don't ask me any question. Fucking get out.
You have the opportunity to answer the question.
No. You can't ask me nothing. Get out. Get out our business, man. Get out. Get out, motherfucker. Get out.
Sir,
get out.
just answer the question.
So there's only answer, Aaron. If you could, that's the American Papa Bear one. If you could just load that one up and side by side it and mute it. I want because I'm talking about this and I want to make a comment on it. But anyway, just let's go 1, 2, 3, 4 on this. You covered 4 institutions there. First, you had advanced mobile. Yeah, just get to the part where they are right at the door of the child care. Just fast forward. You can do it in front of everybody. I don't care. So you go. Yeah, that's perfect. I'll just say it while we're here. Does this look like a prototypical child care center to you? Where you open the door and 5 large black males walk out? Isn't that like every single child care center you've ever brought your kid to? I mean, when you bring your kid, you guys, Caleb will eventually be in a nursery here and whatever else, and Brent's brought his kids to the church's nursery and children's church and everything else. I mean, like if you saw this coming out and we said, welcome to our children's ministry.
No.
You open the door, there's not one kid's footprint, but 6 foot tall black Somali men walking out. You're like, oh, well, this is where I need to drop my daughter off then.
No.
Right here. And all they can say, he's just simply asking them questions, get out. And Brent was like, they keep saying get out and they're outside. They're out. Where do you want them to get once they're out when you're saying get out? So that's the Hopkins, this right here. That's the Hopkins Child Care Center. And they've received $2.5 million. I don't know if it's per year or what, but they've received $2.5 million of your money, not Minnesotans' money, your money, and to take care of 100 kids that don't exist. I mean, look at the sign up there. Look at the child care sign up there at the top right, left-hand corner.
Faded.
It's all faded and nasty, like the leering.
Stick figures.
Like the leering. Yeah, somebody just went up there.
Figures.
We need a sign. I'll do it. All right. They go up there and just make it with a Sharpie. But anyway, and then you've got the Dreamline Transport that was located in the liquor store. And by the way, it wasn't located. There was a liquor store where it's supposed to be located because it wasn't even operating inside of a liquor store. It, in fact, doesn't exist. Also, Safari Transportation inside of a convenience store, which also didn't exist. And then you've got the Advanced Mobility that's registered to be on the second story of a 1-story building. It also doesn't exist. $9 billion minimum has poured into Tim Walz's Minnesota, and he did absolutely nothing about it. Let's go to the next one. Wall Street Apes video, here it is. Titled, this is John Solomon from Just the News, Accountability is Coming. Play it for me.
So the big news that we got in the last 24 hours is that Tom Emmer, the number 3 member of the House, Republican leadership, he has confirmed on the record that congressional investigators are now have Minnesota state employees. We've known that there were these whistleblowers, these state legislators were talking to them. They've now become federal and congressional whistleblowers, and they're signing affidavits. And what Tom Emmer says is in the affidavits is people saying, I personally talked to the governor and his staff, Governor Tim Walz and his staff, and I told them about this fraud, told them it needed to be stopped, and they did nothing. They looked the other way. That is very significant. Now, Tom Emmer said, I think that's enough to bring criminal charges and to put the man in cuffs. Now, that is a very significant moment because Congress will take that testimony. It will make a criminal referral. And there is a U.S. attorney out in Minnesota, no glitz, no glamour, but they are rolling up indictments and they mean business. And it is very likely that Tim Walz will not only be hauled before Congress, but this evidence, if referred from Congress to the U.S. Attorney and the Justice Department, could result in Tim Walz becoming a subject or a target of the investigation. That's certainly what Tom Emmer thinks. Meanwhile, we're seeing the flow of money. It wasn't just Minnesota. So last week we talked about this, Steve, $700 million in suitcases flies out of Minnesota, often headed to either Amsterdam or Amsterdam to Dubai.
I am pleased to announce that IRS Civil Enforcement is auditing financial institutions that facilitated the laundering of Minnesota funds, in addition to helping support criminal and civil enforcement efforts. The IRS will also soon announce the formation of a task force to investigate any fraud and abuse involving pandemic-era tax incentives and misuse of 501c3 tax-exempt status by entities implicated in the Minnesota-based social services fraud schemes. We are committed to preventing fraud and fraudulent nonprofits from taking advantage of the American taxpayer.
So listen to what they're saying here. Accountability is coming. Minnesota state employees have officially become federal whistleblowers. They are signing affidavits needed for prosecutions. Big news that we got, this is John Solomon talking, in the last 24 hours is that Tom Emmer, the number 3 member of the House, Republican leadership has confirmed on the record that congressional investigators now have Minnesota state employees. We've known that there were these whistleblowers, these state legislators were talking to them. They've now become federal and congressional whistleblowers as well as local, and they're signing affidavits. You sign an affidavit that's at the penalty of perjury if you're lying. What Tom Emmer says is in the affidavits is people saying, I personally talked to the governor and his staff. The whistleblowers are now saying that's why they've been attacked by Tim Walz. The whistleblowers are also testifying that after they became whistleblowers, they were attacked by Tim Walz because he's a disgusting, repulsive weirdo. Personally, these whistleblowers personally talked to the governor and his staff, Governor Tim Walz and his staff, and told them about this fraud, told them that it needed to be stopped, and he did nothing. They looked the other way. This is very significant. Congress will take that testimony. It will make a criminal referral, and there is a U.S. attorney out of Minnesota. No glitz, no glamour, John Solomon speaking, but they are rolling up indictments, and they do, in fact, mean business. You honestly think that Trump's DOJ is not going to go after Tim Walz? He's going after Tim Walz. I mean, Tim Walz, we covered this, a year and a half ago. That Tim Walz had been shown the very fact from his own staff, from his own government employees, that his state, that the Somali community was ripping off the federal government to the tune of billions of dollars, and he did not want to be called Islamophobic, as well as now I'm going to place these intentions upon him, as well as he also wanted to continue his money grift out of the Somali community. Because if you have 90,000 Somalis living in the state of Minnesota, which there is, right in the, maybe more than that in the state of Minnesota, but right in the Minneapolis area, you have a very unwelcoming Somali community. Why can't Nick Shirley just go in and ask for, where's the kids? It's not very welcoming to come out and say, get out, get out, get out. But anyway, very non-welcoming Somali community. But it's 90,000 right there in Minneapolis. So it automatically means Jacob Frey will be elected. because all 90,000 will come out and vote for Jacob Frey because he will continue to cover for their multi-billion-dollar fraud. Again, I don't mean to be redundant, but when you have $350 million per year in suitcases, in cash, going out of the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, is that coincidence for anybody? That's 99 times the amount of cash going out of JFK. New York. Out of Minneapolis, New York is 9 million people. Minneapolis, 3.8 million people. And they have 99 times more cash going out of that airport. And by the way, every ounce of that cash is coming from a Somali carrier. It's all witnesses. Why didn't the Biden administration do anything about it? Oh, because it benefits them too. Because it's going to Amsterdam. It's not the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party is just a cog in the wheel of the globalist, bourgeois, leftist agenda and narrative. Run out of Davos, run out of Glasgow, run out of the UN, run out of the WHO. But it appears now this is getting real, and Trump will take it. Listen, it all depends on jurisdictions. The stuff that you don't see the stuff that you don't see happening, whether it's the Comey prosecution, is all because it's a D.C. court. Our judicial system, which I can't get into right now because it's 10:05, and if I start, it'll be 10:45. But our judicial system is all about where you get tried. Tom, it's not supposed to be that way. I know that. But it is that way. Would any of you want to face trial in D.C.? Because they could just simply say, we want Brent to be a murderer. He committed a murder. On J6, they say Brent committed a murder on J6. Brent was nowhere near D.C. on January 6th. I don't know if he's ever been to D.C. in his life. You ever been to D.C.?
No.
He's never even set foot in D.C., okay? So, but you're like, well, so that completely exonerates him. We have cell phone footage. What do you call it, Aaron? Tracking towers? What do you call it?
Yeah, like GPS.
GPS, we have
geofencing.
Yeah. They can tell wherever you are.
Yep.
So they have the technology to track your cell phone. And that shows that Brent was in Cincinnati, Ohio at the time of J6. He has cell phone footage of him in a patrol car on J6 in Cincinnati, Ohio. There's calls that he answered all night long as a cop in Cincinnati. His wife says he was there. His dad, mom, and everybody else. He said there's people, they've lined up 37 people that hate him, says he was there in Cincinnati. He would still be convicted of the murder on J6. But there was no body either. They just said, you know what? He murdered Shaquita on the streets of D.C. as a white supremacist terrorist. But there's no body. There's no anything. It wouldn't matter. You're like, no, Tom, I'm telling you, that's all they had on Trump, and they were convicting him left and right. There was no crime. There was no evidence. There was no bookkeeping. There was no video. There was no DNA. Nothing. You're like, that's what you're saying is hyperbolic. I'm not. They would convict. All they'd have to have is a lying blue prosecutor fill out a probable cause affidavit saying that Brent committed a murder on J6 2021. That's all they'd have to do. And it wouldn't matter. We could show that he was never there and that there was no body and there was no murder. Nobody's complaining about anybody missing. Wouldn't matter. He'd be convicted of it. That's all that matters, is where will Tim Walz be tried? That's all that matters. If he's tried in a fair constitutional jurisdiction, he will be found guilty. He is a fraudster, huckster, Chinese spy. Speaking of fraudster, here you can side by side that. Speaking of fraudster and hucksters, there she is. Ilhan Omar. Let's delve into Ilhan Omar for just a moment. A Man of Memes video. Ilhan Omar says investigating Minnesota fraud is a waste of taxpayer dollars. Play it for me.
I'm so exhausted in trying to ask what any of this, information has led to you finding any criminals that you have indicted that explains why you are wasting so much of our taxpayer resources and also terrorizing our communities in the amount of federal law enforcement agents that you have in the streets of our city and our state. There needs to be some sort of justification.
She doesn't want ICE there because ICE is going to expose and investigate her own crimes. Her husband right now, remember, he became very rich. How did he become very rich? He wasn't rich, but he became very rich. And she's also very rich now, worth $30 million. She entered into Congress worth $65,000. Now she's worth $30 million 5 years later. That's a pretty impressive stock portfolio.
Yeah.
Everybody agree? Well, her husband got $3 million out of her last campaign for consultancy fees. And now he's in a major lawsuit because he invested in a cannabis company, or a cannabis company invested in him, and they sent him $3 million, and he sent them back $1.7 million. So he's now, he seems very corrupt himself, but he also is very wealthy because she's funneling money. This is her non-brother husband. This is the husband that she stole from another woman while he was participating in her campaign. And then she funneled him $3 million. She doesn't want ICE anywhere near Minnesota. That's why Jacob Frey doesn't want him there. That's why Tim Walz doesn't want ICE there, because Tim Walz does not want his own malfeasance exposed. But back to Ilhan Omar. Mario Nawfal video breaking. Ilhan Omar accused of money laundering millions sent to husband's consulting firm. Play it for me.
Minnesota's 5th Congressional District. And we called together this press conference in the wake of yesterday's article in the Minnesota Reformer about my opponent, Representative Omar. She paid her husband, Tim Minette, $3 million of campaign money. And the way her time in office has given his business access and credibility, as they've misappropriated more than $1 million in money from South Dakota investors. They left workers unpaid and found the funds frozen by the Office of Foreign Assets Control, the U.S. Treasury Department in charge of enforcing sanctions. Unfortunately, this story is just the latest scandal in a string of new stories about Representative Omar that narrow the focus on her and bring us further from the type of progress our district and our country needs around issues that affect the lives of our neighbors. Representative Omar has used her 3 terms in Congress, what many would consider the opportunity and honor of a lifetime, to divide our community and enrich herself in the process.
I'll ask again, where did Ilhan Omar get all that darn money from? Let's go through it. When she first ran for Congress in 2018, she was married to a Somalian man named Ahmed Nur Said Elmi, and she had a net worth of approximately $65,000. Not a ton of money, but $65,000. By 2020, a whole 2 years later, Ilhan had already divorced and remarried another Somalian man by the name of Ahmed Aladizian Herzi, and her net worth was still right around $65,000. Yet just 4 years later, she was divorced and remarried again for a third, or perhaps a fourth time. We don't know for sure, because Ilhan Omar likely married her brother at one point to get him into this country illegally when she came here from Somalia, which, by the way, is a federal crime, and she's serving in Congress. And nobody talks about this. So by 2024, Ilhan's married to a new person, a white guy named Tim. There's Tim Minette. And Tim is not a rich man, but now he is. Tim's rich now because somehow over the course of the last 3 years, Ilhan Omar's net worth has skyrocketed to over $30 million and counting, meaning she went from having right around $65,000 to $30 million in 3 years. Think about that. Powerball drawing is tonight. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Ilhan Omar did not win the lottery. Bernie Madoff was cheating, and he still wasn't doing that well. That is a 46,000% increase in less than 3 years. Now, how do you suppose that happened? Do you really expect us all to believe that she just played the stock market like she's got a great investor and they just got kind of lucky over the course of the Biden presidency? And why are we the only ones asking these questions tonight? So once again, where did Ilhan Omar get all that money, and why is she?
I mean, just real quick, one stat on that. A 46,000% increase in 3 years. That's pretty impressive stock portfolio. Would everybody agree on that?
Yeah.
I would go for that. If my finance guy, I got a really good finance guy, but I'm like, if he came up to me, his name's Jeff, and Jeff said, hey, you know what? Hey, Tom, I can get you a 46,000% increase in 3 years. That's pretty impressive. How does that happen? Pure, unabated corruption. Let me show you this. And wokeness video. This is the liberal white woman army being put together by black women like Joy Reid. How many black women you see at the ICE protest? Anybody see them? I can add them all up for you. Ready? Let me add them all up. Goose egg. None. There's actually a really good video on Twitter of another white woman showing up to one of these protests. It's all white people at all these protests. Not one black person's there. They have the Black Lives Matter talking a lot in Minnesota, but they're not doing anything. But anyway, so you have Joy Reid orchestrating, as well as all the leftist pundit, Mockingbird, Pravda, Goebbels media, instigating all of these leftist white, malformed, mentally ill, pink-haired, blue-haired, septum-pierced women, prompting them, instigating them all out to stand in front of ICE vehicles until they're run over or killed, or stand in front of ICE vehicles, attempt to drive over ICE officers, ram ICE vehicles with their vehicles, all the things that we've already seen. But anyway, so who's orchestrating this? The liberal media and the people like Jacob Fry and Tim Walz. Here's Joy Reid and Wokeness Video. Play it for me.
This woman was part of a group of people who they trained to try to be ICE interrupters. Mm-hmm. And what they try to do is observe what ICE is doing, film them, and try to use their white privilege, to be honest. They're mainly white people.
Which is what we ask.
Which is what we ask them to do, right? Because black people, like, we can't put our bodies on the line because cops will shoot us. And so the presumption had been, particularly a white woman, because remember, part of the rationale for doing this with ICE is to save white women, pristine white women, from being ravaged by, criminal brown men. So white women have been taking the lead in being the ones to step.
Said that Trump is trying to keep white women from being ravaged by brown men. That's why he's trying to deport them. That's what Joy Reid says. And she says black women can't participate because they'll automatically be shot by the cops. 97% of black homicides are committed by who, Aaron?
Say that again. Sorry.
97% of black homicides. Brent, you can answer.
Oh, yeah.
97% of black homicides, black people being killed via homicide, are committed by who?
Black men.
People. By black men.
Yeah.
Mainly 18 to 25.
Yep.
97% on average. Somewhere between 15 and 20 black men are killed per year, not black women. So there are no black women that are killed unarmed. I mean, you have the occasional, again, people. What about this one? Okay, statistically speaking, via UCR, Uniform Crime Statistics, Uniform Crime Record, none. Okay, so how are black women are just going to be gunned down by police when they are never gunned down by police ever? Unarmed black women are never statistically ever killed by cops. And on average, between really 12 and 17 unarmed black men are killed per year by cops. 30 white men are killed unarmed by cops. And Joy Reid espouses the narrative that it is a grievous threat for black people to have any involvement with law enforcement. If they have any involvement with law enforcement, they're going to get gunned down. There is no chance they'll ever get gunned down. Statistically speaking, 12 unarmed black men per year are killed by cops. 30 unarmed white men are killed per cops. Exactly where the lines are actually shows you a little bit more favor towards the black people than the white people. And that's just imagine being Joy. I assume she sleeps well at night, knowing that she is a repulsive, disgusting, demonic liar every day of her life, every single day of her life. And this is what this sort of rhetoric is what causes this to happen. This is Michael Knowles, the Liz Variant video. This is a little 55-second expose on the reaction to Renee Good's shooting of her lesbian life partner who liked to put cigarettes out on Renee Good's kids. Play it for me.
Some new videos come out. This is the lesbian partner, reportedly, of the woman who was killed, yelling immediately after the shooting.
Why don't you have real bullets?
Her first scream after she yells, "Drive, baby, drive," into the ICE agent. And then the ICE agent, defending himself, shoots that woman in the face, as he was absolutely right to do. And she screams, "Why did you have real bullets?" You actually feel sorry for this woman. Well, you feel sorry for the woman who's dead. You feel sorry for the lesbian partner. She really didn't know that the law enforcement officer's gun had bullets. How divorced do you have to be from reality? not to know that the cop's gun has bullets in it.
Because she listens to the lies from Wolf Blitzer, who says she just stumbled upon the scene. The lies from Jacob Fry. The lies from Brian O'Hara, the chief of police of Minneapolis. The lies of Tim Waltz and Ilhan Omar. Wolf Blitzer, all the rest of them. This bold-faced freaking lies. Joy Reid, the lies of Joy Reid. Black women can't participate because they'll automatically be shot by the cops, even though they're never shot by the cops. And the only black people that are ever shot are shot by other black people and not black cops. And you're more likely to be shot by a black cop than a white cop, statistically speaking.
Oops.
No, it all doesn't work. All right, let's get to the rants. Are we ready for the rants tonight? Let's do that.
Black Pitbull Art donated $20. God bless President Trump and ICE and keep them safe.
100%. We're praying for ICE in Jesus' name. Keep them safe, Lord, in Jesus' name. Great one. Go the next one for me.
BWET donated $5. Happy birthday to Release the Hog.
To the one and only. We can't even tell you the story. We know the story behind Release the Hog, but we can't tell you that on air. But anyway, it's a friend of ours. Happy birthday to the one and only Release the Hog. Go the next one for me.
Mike Griffith donated $5. Tomorrow morning, 50-plus breakfast. We could try to meet those we don't know and sit at same table.
There you go. Open invitation at Foundation Church tomorrow. Thank you, Mike Griffith. If you are anywhere near the Foundation Church, you can meet people in the chat at the 50-plus breakfast. It's awesome. My wife will be there. But anyway, yeah, thanks for the ad, Mike. Be there if you can. And Aaron probably already flashed the address. But anyway, 13,000 South Tamiami Trail, Northport, Florida. Come to the 50-plus breakfast if you can. All right, go to the next one.
Aaron Yeager donated $5. Trump administration marks its first year with over 622,000 deportations, 1.9 million self-deportations. How can conservatives advocate for ramping up mass deportations even further?
Well, here's the thing. But those are impressive stats, but we're looking at right now, there's about 10,000-ish if you want to say ICE agents, but that also, I don't know for sure if that's just ICE agents, but it could be CBP also. But I'm going to just for ease of conversation, there's about 10,000 ICE agents. Credit Nick Fuentes on this. They're looking, or maybe Alex Jones, they're looking to amp that up to about 20,000. We need more ICE agents to deport. And my main thing is ignore the ambient noise. Just deport their sorry, illegal butts out and don't worry about their due process. They're getting the exact same due process they got during the Obama administration, and not one Democrat cared. So deport their sorry rear ends and don't even think twice about it. But get us up to, when we started, man, there's hardly any ICE agents, really, statistically speaking. Trump has massively increased the recruitment. It's good pay, too, really good pay. But it's a miserable job, you can see right now, especially. But anyway, we need to get up to about 20,000 ICE agents. By the way, you're like, what happens though when you hire all these people and then all the illegals are gone? They're all going to be fired. Well, folks, we got 40 million of them here. Yeah. I think you're looking at a full career.
Yeah.
You decide to be an ICE agent. All right, go to the next for me.
Johnny F62 donated $10.
Tell it.
All
right, already told it. Love you, Johnny. I see you on all the time. Appreciate it. He was just responding to one of the rants that we were doing. Go next for me.
Hugo_Stiglitz donated $5. If Elon Musk ran for president, would you vote for him? Why?
It would all depend on who he's running against. I love Elon. We've had a back and forth romance, one-sided because he doesn't know who I am. But anyway, we've had a back and forth romance. But right now, I'm big on Elon. He's very pro-human. Now, of course, you look at the AI part. But the AI stuff that he's doing is to help humans. Not saying that it couldn't be turned against humans, but I'm just saying a lot of stuff for regenerative health and helping people with paralysis and strokes and things like that. But anyway, so I like all that. Super smart. Trump administration was way better with him in it than without him. They ran him out. It wasn't Trump. Trump still listens to people he shouldn't listen to. The Israel lobby, the establishment lobby, even Democrats and Democratic media and establishment, swampy style Republicans and Fox News. He listens to all that too much. And that's what ran Elon out. Otherwise, we'd already be attacking the debt right now. But it would depend on who he's running against, where his stance is on life. He keeps on getting more and more and more red-pilled and conservative. I tell you flat out, if he's pro-life, I'm voting for him. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. If he's pro-life, I vote for him over J.D. Vance without even hesitating. Problem is, where does he stand on life? That's my number one issue. Go next for me.
KA1960 donated $20. So many of them, greedy demonic people, are in the fraud.
Yeah, he or she is referring to something that I was saying or what video that we were playing. So with you, if you're talking about a Democrat, I agree. Go next one for me.
Aaron Yager donated $5. 55% federal oil permit surge. Gas prices are down. How can Trump push harder, cut red tape, expand offshore Arctic drilling to secure energy dominance?
It all depends on what was passed by Congress, because the only court hearings or court cases that he's losing are things like the National Endowment for Democracy, the NED. He lost that. He defunded that, but he lost it. He lost that in court, and almost rightfully so, because it had already been paid for and passed by Congress. And we are a 3-branch government. So he lost that one. So, but then, of course, Republicans had the ability to then not finance the NED, and 81 Republicans, including my own congressman, voted to fund the CIA pro-transgender, pro-banning speech National Endowment for Democracy, CIA cutout. But anyway, so it would depend on what has already been passed and what has not been passed by Congress. For me, it's constant deregulation, because here it is. I'm trying to remember what it was called. It may have been the Enron case. It may not be that. So don't hold me to that, because there's so many of those court cases going on at once, especially at the beginning of the Trump administration. But what was ruled against establishment government was all of these agencies, and we saw the ATF do this, instituting unilaterally their own regulations. So like the ATF just unilaterally passed a law, I can't remember what it was at the time, about certain types of, it wasn't bump stocks, it was another certain type of alteration to a firearm. They just unilaterally passed it. They didn't pass it through Congress, they just made it a law. And that has now been taken down by the Supreme Court, where these institutions, whether it's the CDC or federal law enforcement, they can't just make up laws that don't go through Congress. So whatever regulations he can take down, any unilateral regulation that's been passed by, this environmental organization. I'm talking about government, not NGOs, but government. I can't remember the environmental. What's it called? The environmental
EPA.
EPA. Thank you, Aaron. Environmental Protection Agency. If it was unilaterally passed by them, he can take it down. If it went through Congress, he can't. So he needs to go through every single one of those unilateral regulations, take them down, open up. I want to burn more fossil fuels. I want more smoke going up in the air. Every day. I want more diesel trucks, and I want them to take off the diesel truck regulator, the thing that regulates the emissions. I want it all going. I want it to free flow right into the atmosphere. More and more CO2. But anyway, in my opinion, that's what he needs to do. Go to the next one for me.
Hugo_Stiglitz donated $20. What's the biggest risk you've taken in life that paid off greatly? What happened, and how did it play out?
Biggest risk? I'll probably end up driving home thinking of a bigger one. But the biggest risk I probably ever took, in the natural, really isn't a risk because I trust in God, was buying this building that I'm sitting in right now. Probably the biggest risk, because we had never owned a building in the history of our church. So we went from never owning a building to buying a $6 million building. And by the way, it's a $6 million building, but it would cost you $15 million to build it. So that's what it cost in today. So it's sitting on 10 acres. We just acquired another 2 acres. So that would say that was probably, and it worked out great, because here we are, and we're growing, and our church gets fuller and fuller every week. It's amazing to me. There's 606 people that are actually watching every Sunday. There's 600 plus people watching us there. 900 to 1,000 in attendance in person, but. And I invite all of you to join us at church. If you live somewhere else, don't go to a COVID caving, bent over, lukewarm, ankle grabbing, butt cheek spreading church. Don't go to them. But anyway, but that was probably the biggest risk in the naturals, because we saved up. We had to come up with just shy $800,000 just to put down, and it was kind of like pretty much close to all we had at the time. I actually prayed over it. Didn't want to go down to all we had. I prayed that God would keep, I wanted to keep $150,000 in the bank. So I needed to come up with, $150,000. And God was like, I'll give you the $150,000, but you're going to have to sow a seed for it. And I was like, this is God talking to me. And audibly talking, no, it's just, God speaks to you. You know his voice. But I said, okay, I'll sow the seed. He said, well, where do you, at first I said, I'll think about it. That's actually what I said to God. I'll think about it. Because I was like, I didn't want to take our money down even more. But he's like, you got to sow a seed. You got to tithe. You want me to give you $150,000? Then you've got to sow a seed. And I was like, what seed? A tithe. I said, 10%. I got to give 15,000 to somebody. And I said, who? He said, Jonathan Shuttlesworth. I love Jonathan Shuttlesworth, Revival Today Ministries. So I was like, I said, well, I'll think about it. So I went home, in my very arduous life that I live, went and sat in the hot tub, thought about it, came out and just hopped out. And I stuck my head in the door and I said, mail Jonathan a check for 15,000. The next Sunday, a woman flew in from Dallas, Texas. Only time to my knowledge she's ever stepped foot. This is when we were a storefront church at the time. And a woman flew in from Dallas, Texas. Came to the service, walked in the church, dropped a check for $200,000, flew back to Dallas, Texas, and never seen her since.
Yeah. That's
how God is. That's how God works. That's exactly how it is. Tom, I don't like it when you get into money. Listen. But thou shalt remember the Lord thy God, for it is he that giveth thee power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant, which he swore unto thy fathers, as it is this day, Deuteronomy 8:18. God wants you wealthy, and God will prosper you. So there it was. That was probably the biggest chance in the natural I've ever taken, but God had my back. And it was worked out great. It's worked out great. But anyway, let's go to the next one. Prayers, please.
Jules 211Rs donated $20. Prayers, please, for my dad's health and well-being.
In the mighty name of Jesus, for Jules, 21 hours, my friend from church. I pray over her dad right now. Just fill in his name, Jules, for me. We pray over her dad right now, and we just receive complete and total healing and restoration of his body and his health right now in Jesus' name. We bind all sickness, illness, disease, and infirmity from him from now till he's 120 years old in Jesus' mighty name. Even after he's 120, it'll just be like, you're never supposed to have sickness, illness, and disease. Even after you're 120, you're supposed to be. Deuteronomy 34:7. Moses was 120 years old when he died, yet his eyes were not weak nor his strength gone. The Abrahamic covenant, that's where you're supposed to live. Many countries around the world have people riding bikes around 107. In America, people dropping dead at 70. Oh, they're old. You got another 50 years at 70. That's how you listen, for as he thinks in his heart, so is he. By the way, that's Genesis chapter 6, verse 3, 120 years. My spirit shall not strive with man forever, yet his days shall be 120 years. The Abrahamic covenant of which we are part of now, the faith covenant. That's where you're supposed to stand. But health to Jules, 21 hours. Dad, in Jesus' mighty name. Go next for me.
Thunderbolt 7641 donated $10. Why is it we have short-lived revivals, but we don't see an ongoing move of the Lord, such as it was in the days of Acts, with signs, wonders, and marvelous miracles?
Because it has nothing to do with God and has everything to do with the Christian. Let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. God is moving, and then nobody continues to maintenance the fire. Nobody stokes the flame. People want God to do that which is the responsibility of the Christian. Not to mention, revival's really nowhere in the Bible, in the context that we think of it, where God should never have to come in and revive anybody. What it is you just simply look at what does it take for a move of God. It's actually very easy. It's found in Matthew chapter 18. For where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, I am there in the midst of them. 18:20. Where 2 or 3 agree, I will do what they ask. 18:19. That's it. If you want a constant move of God, you simply need Christians to not grow weary in well-doing, to continue to do the 4 essentials: prayer, Bible study, worship, and fellowship, maintaining their own softness, their own heart of flesh. And God inherently is always moving the same way. For I am the Lord, I change not, Malachi 3:6. It's the Christians that stop praying. It's the Christians that stop agreeing. It's the Christians that stop asking. It's the Christians that instead of praying are scrolling and are being entertained, instead of praying and memorizing scripture and staying on fire for God. That's what happens. It's got nothing to do with God. I hope I'm answering your question. You didn't say that, and you didn't say, by the way, that it did. But that's the problem. Everyone wants God to move. God's already moved. What does Romans 8:32 say? He's given us all things. What does Ephesians 1:3 say? He's given us all things. We have it all. All you have to do is to actually stay in the Spirit of God. But we don't. We get distracted, and our jobs become more important. Our kids become more important. Our wives and our husbands become more important. Other Christians become more important than Jesus himself. And that's why you don't see a sustained move of God. It's not that God isn't always moving. It's that we've moved away from the move. Go to the next one for me.
Aaron Yager donated $5. When do you think we'll actually see people arrested,
Aaron Yeager
if
question.
ever?
Soon, Aaron, soon. I believe in 2026, people are going to get arrested. I believe people are going to get arrested for the Minnesota fraud somewhere in 2026. And black pilled with red sprinkles. Aaron doesn't agree, but we will see. Go next one for me.
DebPal50 donated $5. Have a blessed weekend, and I will see you all Sunday morning online at Foundation Church.
And Deb Powell it illustrates it right there. If there's no good church in your area, make us your good church in the area. That's it. Make this your church. I'm not telling people to go to a church in their area. If they're COVID caving, if they're weak need, if they don't preach hellfire and brimstone, if they don't preach the promises of God, and the pastors are afraid. There's a lot of pastors right now, and what they're doing. I shouldn't say there's a lot of pastors. There's a pastor. But I'm sure that he embodies many, many pastors like him. COVID caving, bent over, butt cheeks spreading, turkey basting up their rear end of the vaccine pastors. But anyway, what they're doing now is they're saying, you know what? We need to be able to say whatever we want to say. We need to be able to go ahead and preach the gospel. You know what? Sometimes you're just going to have to preach truth that hurts, but they never will actually do it. They're talking about doing it, but they'll never do it. So that they have some sort of plausible deniability that they can say, well, we did preach it. No, all you ever did was say that you have the right to preach it. All you ever said was that you're going to preach it, or that I should be able to preach it, or someday I'm going to preach it, but you never preach it. You don't preach apostasy to people. You don't preach hellfire and brimstone to people. You don't preach that God wants them well. You don't preach that God wants them protected. You are telling them to wear masks with no longer a slave to fear on it, with a slit cut in it so their clarinet players could play in your church. That's who you are. Now what you're doing is you're saying, we need to be able to do this and we need to be able to do that. No, you know what? You're never going to do it. You know why? You know why? Because you're a CCC. You're a cuck boy clergy, CBC. That's who you are. You won't do it because it'll cost you half your congregation. You won't do it. I didn't close. 40% of my church walked out because I didn't close for COVID. You don't listen. Either get your balls on the table or stop talking about your balls because you don't have any. Because you're too afraid that people will walk away. Jesus, Matthew 6:53 through 67, many of his disciples went back no more. Discipleship tested by doctrine. Many of his disciples went back and walked with them no more. You won't say to the homosexual in your church that if they don't turn from their sin, they're going to die and go to hell in that state. You won't say it. You're going to say that you have the right to say it. That you won't actually say it, will you? I don't know how I even got off onto that. Well, that's a question even start. But anyway, that's where I stand on whatever the question was. But anyway, go to the next one for me.
Naz_Yager donated $10.
Boy, here we go.
Give us a funny cop story from your time on the force. Pretty please.
All right. This Naz is a friend of mine, and Aaron's wife. And the mother of such a cute little baby boy, like such a cutie. But anyway, all right, I'll give you these are humiliating, okay, but I'll give you one. Some of them I may have told on the podcast before, but I'll tell you one. So here I am, I'm in my first year and a half of being a cop, and I get an alarm call. So I go back to, checking the building, go to the back of the building, I hop out of my car, and I go and grab the back door. And then I see my car drive past me because I left it in drive.
Oh, yeah.
So I chased my car down. I'm chasing it. And luckily, I had left the window down on a cool night. Because luckily, it was a cool night. In Florida, you have your window down on a cool night. And I dove through the window right when it was smashing into a fence and put it into park. I also was at a burglary scene of a very, very expensive home in Sarasota. If you've never been around Sarasota, it's one of the highest per capita income areas in the country. This is a very expensive home, and they had been burglarized through their bathroom window, and I was fingerprinting also in my first 2 years of being a cop. And this is, old school, and you had your big old container full of the most disgusting stuff on the planet, which is fingerprint powder. So I'm in there dusting for fingerprints. And I walk from their master bedroom into their living room, and right at the seam, I think it was a demon. I think it was a demon out to get me. Somehow, my full canister of fingerprint powder flew out of my left hand and landed on their carpet. And I was there for 2 hours trying to clean it up, sweat pouring off of me. I destroyed their carpet in 2 bedrooms, and you should have seen the bill that the sheriff's office had to pay because I destroyed their house. And I was going to pay it. I didn't tell anybody, so I was trying to hide it. So I didn't tell anybody. And they like called the sheriff's office kind of looking for me or whatever. And they were super nice about it. I was just going to write them a check for it. And then my supervisor said, listen, okay, it was an accident, whatever. I'll tell you one more. I was getting into my police car one day, and I had put one of those, I don't know if you all remember, but it's like before everybody tinted their windows and everything else, we had those visors, the full, the full thing that you put on your windshield. I don't know what you call them, like
a windshield visor.
Yeah, windshield, but it covers your whole windshield.
Yeah.
You had that in there.
They're like silver.
And then, the silver things. And you'd put your visors and they'd hold it in place. Well, I'm getting it. I was majorly late. I'm rushing. I'm going like crazy. Open up the police car. All my paperwork fell out. I'm throwing it in the car. I'm full of temper tantrum. Full-blown temper tantrum. Throwing everything. Stupid crap. Whatever, using all my Christian cuss words. And so I jump in the car, and I had to leave it parked in a parking lot over the weekend at another police station. And it had fallen down. The visor, the full windshield visor had fallen down. And it was sitting right here. And I jumped in. It caught me under my ear as I'm getting in. So I just full out punched it. And I was a big old dude then, right out of college football. I just punched, boom, and just shattered my windshield of my patrol car.
Another bill.
Yep. You have to report yourself when you do that.
Yeah.
I had to call my supervisor and say, Sarge, it's Laipply here. I got to go and get another car. Well, why is that? My windshield's broken. How'd that happen? I punched it. Write it up. So I had to write that on a report and return myself in like that. That was fun. But anyway, you got 3 or 4 and asked for the price of 1. Got any more? Or is that
yeah, 3 more.
3 more.
K Cosmofont16 donated $20. What, if anything, do you miss about being a cop?
I don't. The only thing I miss about being a cop are the other guys. I do. I love the other cops. I love the other guys. I loved the camaraderie of old school cop. When I started in 1992, it was all still old school. It was still fun. You could still not write tickets if you didn't have to. Like back now, if you start writing a ticket, you have to finish. I mean, you couldn't give anybody. You can give people a break by never actually instituting writing a ticket. But anyway, it's just way different now. They track everywhere you go. I mean, anything and everything you do. And some people might like that. Some of you got body cameras and all that stuff now, which I actually support body cameras. Hated them at first, like them now. But I do miss the guys. I do miss the guys and the women that I worked with too. I worked with some really, really good female cops, worked with some absolutely useless ones too, by the way, that could not handle men in police calls. Just letting you know. That's another cop story I could tell. But anyway, I do miss the guys. I was never one for the whole power thing or any of that stuff, so I was never into that. But I do miss helping people. I do actually miss helping people, being able to help people. When they do, I still stop to help people, but I mean, back, then you could really help people. So I do miss that part. But anyway, go to the next one for me.
Silent donated $5. Tom, are you considering running for office?
No, not at all. I'm a gospel preacher, man. And by the way, I mean, if anybody pulls up the stuff that I've said, it disqualifies me from ever running from office. I mean, I've got so many shove it up your rectum statements, butt cheek spread, turkey baster vaccine up your rectum from the pulpit. Okay, which I've stopped saying from the pulpit. I've stopped with the rectum stuff from the pulpit or penis hole from the pulpit.
Lop it off.
Lop it off.
Taped up.
Taped up genitals. My wife hates it, man. Oh my gosh, the stuff I've knocked it off. I really didn't need to knock it off. I mean, I still say it on the podcast, but just not from the pulpit. And you're like, well, where's these lines? Well, the lines are profanity. I don't use profanity. I don't use the F word. Don't use the Lord's name in vain. Don't use the S word or any of it. But I will say rectum or caboose.
You can't bend over any further.
You can't bend over any further. You grab no more. You've already grabbed under your feet. You cannot bend over. That's how Brent came to the church.
Oh yeah. Brent
came to the church because I said you can't bend over anymore. That's my church. All right, we got 2 more.
One more.
One to go.
G.L. Burke J. Ure donated $50. Georgia River members love you.
Georgia River, is that River Church from Rodney Howard Brown? If so, Rodney Howard Brown is my pastor from the River Church in Tampa, my favorite preachers in the world. Rodney Howard Brown, Jonathan Shuttlesworth are my two favorite preachers on the planet. Love those two. Rodney R. Brown is my pastor. Love him deeply. Also just a very, very close friend. But anyway, if it's River, if not, love you right back. Love you guys. Thank you so much for always being there. Love all you guys. Can't believe still 556 people listen to me ramble on and on for the last 20 minutes. But anyway, love you guys. I'm going to have to start the rants earlier, I guess, if it's 10:43. But anyway, love you guys. Post game still here. Don't forget church this Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern time. Join us either in person or online. I love you guys. Post game is about to start right now. God bless you.
If you're driving 60 miles per hour, how long does it take you to drive 60 miles?
I have no clue. Why does this seem so hard? This should seem simple. A minute?
Hour and a half, 2 hours maybe? I don't know. An hour?
Would it be 30 minutes?
You've lost a lot of credibility.
If you're out to dinner, you're paying the bill's $100, you're giving the waitress 20%, how much is she getting?
Man, I'm a chef too, ain't this some bullshit?
I'm really bad at math, don't ask me any more math questions. $15?
$50.
$30?
$20.
$120. I'm locking that in.
I was like, duh.
Spell the word restaurant.
Oh, that one's a difficult one for me.
Oh, shit, I'm a first bird. It's crazy. Y'all got me.
RESTHERUNT.
RESTAO.
Let me just stop you right there. What does CEO stand for?
Oh gosh.
I don't know.
Corporate entertainer organizer.
Chief Executive Officer.
CEO.
Want to put our heads together?
Yeah. No, I don't know.
Didn't work?
No.
Damn it.
It's very frustrating. I can't even tell you.
What body of water is on the east coast of the United States?
Pacific Ocean.
Mediterranean.
The Atlantic Ocean.
Oh, that's easy. The Hudson River.
I thought that would have been an easier one, but I think we're making progress.
How many inches are in a foot?
I don't know that, man.
18?
7.
12 inches in a foot.
I have no idea how many. I don't know how big my foot is actually.
I'm not sure I understand the question here.
Hey, you can roll the window down for me? No. Okay, well then you need to step out of the vehicle.
No, I don't.
Yes, this is a traffic stop.
For what? What crime?
For multiple different IVC violations. If you roll your window down so we can talk, I'm Officer McCall, Bloomington Police. I'm wearing a body camera. Okay, there's several reasons why I'm stopping you. Number one, you don't have a front license plate on your vehicle. Number two, you failed to signal 100 feet prior to your turn. Number three, when you turned off of Morris right in front of my squad car. No, I don't have to repeat it for you on your camera, okay? I'm repeating it on my time. You can't even figure out your camera right now. You went over the middle line, okay? Give me your license and your insurance, please. 25, I'll take the return. She's refusing to get out of the vehicle and refusing to provide ID.
I have a right.
Give me your driver's license.
You don't need to tap.
Give me your driver's license or this window's gonna get busted in. That's what's gonna happen.
Would you just tell me what's gonna happen?
I said if you don't listen and give me your driver's license and step out of the vehicle, the window's gonna get busted in. Absolutely. Pennsylvania v. Mims is a Supreme Court case that requires you to exit the vehicle when demanded, and I'm demanding it. Get out of the vehicle. Get out of the vehicle. Are you gonna give me your license?
My license.
No, give me your license. Okay, we're gonna play this difficult. All right, guys, she's refusing to get out of the vehicle and won't roll her window down, so we're gonna bust it. You gonna get out of the vehicle? Are you gonna get out of the vehicle? Get out of the vehicle.
I haven't done it.
You're under arrest for obstructing. Get out of the vehicle. Are you gonna get out, or do you want your window busted? You're trying to make a big scene, and it's your fault for not exiting the vehicle. You're in a car. And you've made multiple IVC violations, and now you're not identifying yourself with a driver's license, and you're not providing insurance, and you're not stepping out of the vehicle. Ma'am, get out of the vehicle now. Ready?
Nothing in my car.
Okay, get out of your vehicle. This is your last warning. Get out of the vehicle, or I'm going to break the window.
You are bullying me.
Get out of the vehicle, or I'm going to break the window. Get out of the vehicle. Get out of the vehicle. Get out of the vehicle. I warned you when I was... Stand up.
What the...
Okay, you're going to step back here. You are under arrest.
Are you kidding me?
You're gonna get tased. You're gonna get tased. Taser. Lay on the ground. Right now, you're gonna get it again. Lay on the ground, or you're gonna get it again. 6-2-14, 1031, taser deployed. You're gonna get it again. Roll it.
Women are, especially liberal women, are not doing well. You see the highest rates of mental illness among single liberal women. And it's because it's a philosophy that pits women against their own bodies and against their own children. Feminism coaches women to reject their bodies, reject the natural realities, especially of their fertility, especially of their reproductive capacity.
Truth has become a right-wing concept. You cannot say it, because if you say it, you are considered right-wing. And to be right-wing is to be in league with the forces of evil. Education was turned from being the transmission of a culture down through the generations into the overturning of a culture on the basis that the culture was illegitimate, racist, colonialist, and all the rest of it. And we are where we are.
So knowledge and wisdom are increasingly unappointed.
Why do you think that in the ski resorts, people leave thousands of dollars worth of ski equipment and snowboards unattended, and for some reason, they don't get stolen? Why do you think that is? Just think, all right? Don't shoot the messenger.
What do you do for work?
I'm a student.
How do you afford to raise 3 kids while being a student?
God help me.
Does the American taxpayer help you too?
Also, yes.
This is Curious Joel, a village of 44,000 Hasidic Jews in upstate New York that primarily speak Yiddish. Women have 7 kids on average. It's one of the fastest growing towns in America, with many men religiously studying the Torah full time and rely on state assistance and welfare programs to feed and house their massive families. How many kids do you have? 7? How do people afford to have so many kids here?
They don't afford, we help each other. We open 2 groceries called Maitiv. We're giving them 50% discount.
Like how many kids per family?
10, 12, 14, 15.
Oof. I'm trying to figure out how you guys afford to have so many kids though.
I'm struggling.
Struggling?
Some of them are being supported by community members.
How do people afford to have such big families down here?
The same.
What do you mean? How long does the prayer last?
We go from 6 o'clock in the morning until the night.
When do they work if they're praying all day?
They're not praying all day.
How do you afford to raise 3 kids while being a student?
Because I work very hard. God help me.
Does the American taxpayer help you too?
Also, yes.
Housing assistance or Section 8, EBT, SNAP, Medicare?
Yes.
Could I move here as a non-Hasidic Jew?
It's not true.
It's not true?
No, nobody can stop you. You're not going to be comfortable.
But would someone actually rent or sell me a house out here? Unlikely, right?
It's not unlikely. I mean, unlikely maybe. I can't.
Okay.
As a group?
The click.
Send him 2-3 years Dagestan and forget.
Alexa, play Taylor Swift.
Send him 2-3 years Dagestan and forget. Send him 2-3 years Dagestan and forget.
Get ready.
Wait. Send him 2-3 years Dagestan and forget.
My principal says that we're not normal.
Send him 2-3 years Dagestan and forget.
Bon appetit. Delicious.
Send him 2-3 years Dagestan and forget.
See, this is why this motherfucker's the GOAT right here. Watch, check this out. You ready? They're talking about farmers.
Dairy farmers. I want to thank all of our farmers here today, sir. Most of them are 5th and 6th generation. They represent states from all across our country, and bringing the children to and seeing what the next generation of dairy farmers looks like. The amazing thing is some of these farmers back here from Butler, Pennsylvania, he
Where?
Butler, Pennsylvania.
Man got shot there, and he joking about it. That's why he's the GOAT.
Well, Denmark lets us put our military there. Denmark lets us use Greenland for our military. I would like to see Denmark try and stop us. As a matter of fact, I would like to see all of Europe try to stop us. They let us use Greenland. They let us do whatever we want. Try and stop us from doing whatever we want. The difference is we spend $1 trillion per year on our military. The biggest other country in the European Union and NATO, they spend $65 billion. That's the difference. I see all these idiot commentators in the UK, in Europe. They say, oh, this is ridiculous. The United States doesn't need to have it. We already let them use it. Let us try and fucking stop us. It's the opposite. We let you have your countries. We let you exist. Who do you think was holding back the Soviet Union for 50 years, idiot? What do you think was standing in the way of 100,000 Soviet tanks, which would have never stopped in Germany, by the way, if it wasn't for us? What do you think was standing in between them and the whole rest of Europe for 50 years, preventing them from marching all the way from Berlin to Lisbon? What do you think was standing in the way of them and then mounting an amphibious assault in the UK? It was us. That was the United States of America, which maintained the second largest nuclear arsenal, which built a strategic air force, which has the burden of a military-industrial complex. That was us. You let us use Greenland? No, we let you exist as Europe. You're welcome. You should be grateful that we don't take a whole lot more.
This podcast is all about. We talk about a lot of political things, but underneath all of that is the Bible. I am unapologetically 100% in favor of it, is the Bible. Jesus is the Word. There is no delineation. If the Bible says it, that's what Jesus is, and that's what Jesus believes. That's what this podcast is actually about, is to actually alert people to what is coming and what is our responsibility in the midst of it.